Hello, and welcome to another episode of Leader Generation brought to you by Mada. I'm your host, Tessa Burg, and today I am joined by Eric Bertrand, our fearless CEO who recently announced that Mada has invested $10 million in AI innovation. We're going to dive into why, what does that mean, where is Mada going? And this isn't just about our agency, but also the way that we're hoping to transform the way marketing and advertising work gets done, how we deliver value to our clients, and really take the optimistic view of AI can be here, responsible AI can be here in service of our profession and in service of the way that we serve clients and customers. So, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. It has been just about a year since the last time we had you on.
Right. And I don't think you and I have spoken since then. So it's been a while since we caught up. Not true. We probably speak 2 or 3 times a day, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Nice to see you.
So we dropped this big press release. We have agents now in market. It's funny thinking back a year ago, it felt like it
Yeah.
was going to take much longer. And when we think about, why did we even do this? Like, what is the disruption that the advertising agency is facing now that makes this investment a necessity?
Well, I think that we really 2 years ago we started having a little over 2 years ago we started having these conversations around what AI could be and what it could mean for this industry and frankly for a lot of other industries, but specifically around this industry. And I think that now after that time, it's gotten to a point where we're seeing what we thought would happen 2 years ago, and we're seeing it implemented and executed. So that's really where I think we are. And for us, it started with really in the early days, we talked a lot about compliance and governance to start with, right? I think we've gotten to a point where that's become our kind of table stakes, where it's something we start from in everything we do. But the automation of repetitive tasks was really something we talked about in the beginning, and that has now not only been a thought process, it's actually been implemented, and we actually see the results of that happening in our real world work. So it's really the opportunity to generate ROI and add value to the clients, and the clients are expecting this. I think that before, the clients would do a lot of things themselves in the background, or they'd have multiple agencies that would do things, and now they're expecting us to do it. It's really the glue that's between media, data, activation, analytics. All those things are being tied together using AI. We're using AI to tie those things together. Clients are expecting us to, and it's really adding a lot of value in a lot of different ways. And I think the ability for us to see data, to see trends, to see a bigger picture of what would have been really a smaller picture or very finite picture by a number of different disparate folks is now being able to be seen by us in one shot, which is amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned the one shot, and then also how clients historically have had a bunch of different agencies. And we have been going down this path of rapid acquisition. And you've said before that agencies are at risk of being commoditized. How does our acquisition strategy paired with this AI investment start to move us away from being a vendor, being in risk of being commoditized, into being a true strategic partner to our clients?
The thesis that we had was that having the expertise in house, so not outsourcing things or using other outside sources, but really having in-house experts in the areas that the clients that we're working with clients on was really important. And that's really what we've been doing over the last 6 years is acquiring expertise in the various functional areas of marketing and advertising and digital experience that people need and clients need. And I think that allows you to have that broader picture. It allows you to tie together the glue of all of these different executions. And it's really been important to have those experts, have people, which is really the most important part of this is having strategists and experts and creatives that can, at a very high level, think about where the world is going, where our clients' needs are, where their business goals are, and how do we achieve those. And then using the tools that we've been able to build, whether it's, again, automation of repetitive tasks or whether it's developing agents that are specific to each client. I think, where that's what's prompted us to acquire the expertise that we have over a little bit. And we're still going, we're still doing that. And as we've acquired these companies, we've integrated them into our technology solutions. And I think that the clients have felt a closeness, a partnership with us because of the ability for us to execute at all these different services.
And what I find interesting, because I'm always following like the next AI headline, is our approach really flies in the face, or is almost the exact opposite of the headlines you read on reducing staff and announcing these huge layoffs because we're using AI, as opposed to our headline being, we are investing in AI because we're investing in people. And we know that solutions are only as good as the data that powers them. And our data as an agency is coming from the expertise and experience that we have. Now, that being said, it doesn't come without its challenges. Like, you know, this is a massive change to go. With expertise and experience comes a mastery of working in a certain way. And in this past year, something that has been really surprising, or I guess rewarding, is people being open and accepting that they're going to work differently and seeing their value as a part of being the change management and the change leadership that's required, because it is not easy to evolve something you've done for decades.
I think the expression that a lot of people use, and obviously it's not my expression, but it's one that everyone uses, is AI isn't going to replace your job, but someone that uses AI may replace your job, right? And I think that's what we've seen, is that the adoption of across our organization to many different aspects, whether it's internal or external use of AI, has really helped to drive a lot of value across many different areas. And I think that is the biggest part of it, is that my goal is not to reduce any staff. Frankly, I think there will be a paradigm shift in folks having to think strategically. So folks that have been more tactical or on the production side need to lean into strategy and creativity and understanding a higher level, because some of those repetitive tasks will be automated, automated out. But I do think that the people that you can evolve to more of a strategic thinking to help drive value in what you're doing, whatever that might be, whatever service that might be. And one of my goals and our goals is to upskill folks on strategy and on training and helping them to evolve to where they can use AI both for, again, automating repetitive tasks as well as client work, finding those use cases that the clients may not have even thought about, that AI could be a solution for them that would help achieve their goals, that would help create higher ROI, better ROI, and drive efficiencies forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I remember you set that out as the mantra. It was about 2 years ago, and we were thinking about the AI Council and where we really needed to start and what were the types of trainings that we were going to have to get people. And we heard the problems from our clients. They were massive problems. They're like, well, our clients too are on this journey. They don't know where to start. And it's uncovering new and different types of challenges. And so we don't even have the option of approaching work in the same way. And we use those client challenges and that need to elevate into more solution-oriented strategic thinking to inform our product roadmap. So in the press release is really the fruition of that ideation. We have, mod heat, which historically people have always wanted to better understand their customers, their competitors, what's going on in the market. In our business, we lean very heavy into B2B, We know how important it is for our professional clients to differentiate not just on product, but how they deliver and serve their industries. And when we look at a tool like Mod Heat, it allows us to go beyond social listening. Like there's a bazillion apps that do that, but we can start to pair some of the other agents that we've been building to get deeper into professional insights, market insights, and make it more accessible to us and our clients in a shared way. And that has been a huge unlock just for having really important conversation about how we prioritize projects. And in Mod Heat, it even gives you some ideas to think about. So it's not, you're not taking out the strategist, but now you and your client are seeing a lot of the same data at the same time in a shared space. And that helps accelerate creative development, campaign development, instead of, the old way of like, let's do weeks of research. Let's go back and
Yeah.
present this massive plan. It's like we're working together in lockstep to respond and be there in the moment and get ahead of, a trend or a cultural moment
Yeah.
when it hits.
Yeah, I think that the amount of data that a human can process, just because of the hours in the day, and there's just not enough time to process the amount of data that an AI can do. So for Mod Heat, it allows you to really take the intersection of brand data and all kinds of current data and information that would be just impossible for someone to sort through. So that's one of the big benefits of AI, right? Is it allows you to take massive amounts of data and information and compile it in a way that you can use it for strategically for your decisions, for decisions about your clients, to be more spot on the creative and strategy side, so that it's impossible for a human to be able to take all those data sources and put them in one spot. It's not possible. Which is why AI is relevant.
Yeah, I agree. And it was interesting through this journey of listening to clients and using Mod Heat, we started finding that a lot of consumers and professional buyers are using LLMs now to research
Okay.
companies. And we have to start to take the inspiration of these ideas and turn them into different types of content formats in external places and on their website to begin to increase the visibility for those clients in LLMs. And how do we measure that? What does that look like? How do we ensure a personalized experience on the site? And when I think personalization in marketing has been around for a very long time, but when you're able to co-innovate with clients and
Mhm.
in a secure way leverage their data paired with that external data, and this is another agent that we launched, the e-commerce agent.
Mhm.
Now we're able to go beyond just personalized content and instead have a personalized assistant to that
Yeah.
person, their historical purchasing habits, the company's products. And again, in B2B, these products, if you're in the semiconductor industry, if you're in a professional services industry or manufacturing, it's super stinking complicated.
Yeah.
But this next generation of buyers, they just want to ask the LLM for all the answers. And brands need to step up and make sure that they're providing tools that give a like experience to have a conversation, a highly technical conversation that is accurate, that is reliable, and that gives that personalized handshake before they even talk to a salesperson.
Sure. Well, and yeah, and we've as we've spoken to a number of folks out there. I mean, brand awareness is massively valuable. I mean, if your brand is not known either I mean, it needs to be through an LLM search. I mean, you need to be able for GEO, generative engine optimization. You need to be able to be found, but that's important that these brands focus on getting that brand awareness out there, because if you're not part of that purchasing funnel, you're not gonna win that contract. You're not gonna get that not that you're not gonna get that client. There's been a number of surveys recently that have come out that says if you're not part of that initial group that was being considered as a client, you're not going to win. You have like a 10% chance. I think it's 7 to 10% chance of actually winning. So it's massively valuable to have the brand awareness out there, to be in front of the LLMs who are out there pulling that information together on these brands, and getting to understand where they need to be focused. So I think one of the things you were just talking about is a little bit about agents that we've been building and some of our technologies we've been building. So what's the roadmap? I mean, how are we prioritizing innovation, and what does the future pipeline look like?
Yeah, I feel like the roadmap we set out right now is to solve challenges that have always existed. Like when we talk to clients, we're like, well, what's keeping you up at night? We hear the same themes. They want to be able to personalize content to the buyer. They want to be able to fill the pipeline with actual qualified leads and more accurately measure how likely a lead is going to convert, when, why, so they can service it more efficiently and in a people way, more personalized. Um, they want to grow. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting that the things that clients want have not changed, but how we're doing them has dramatically changed. And we prioritize the innovation, the agents that we build based on where do we have that speed to impact and where can we start to gather additional data points to learn more. So with the e-commerce agent, um, it looks just like a chat bot, but the biggest difference, any company, we all have access to the same tech. So a
Mhm.
company can decide to build their own e-commerce agent. They can decide to build their own AI solutions in-house. The difference that we're bringing is this recognition of first, data quality and security matters. And we have been working internally to set up our own proprietary systems and data collection that can benefit our clients. Adoption matters. We know that when you start to introduce new tools, whether you built it or you licensed it, now you're introducing time to market. You have to train people on how to use that tool. You have to make sure it gets through all the right seats so that you have a team who can support that tool. When we've been launching or co-innovating with clients, we're actually looking at how do we go in to reduce the steps? How can we,
Mhm.
as the agency, take that burden and instead of something that for you used to be 10 steps, or if you introduced a new tool, you're going to have to go through 3 months of setup, integration, and training, but now it just feels like a website release. We're really leaning into that. Um, and it's a space that I think agencies are uniquely set up to occupy, but at the same time, agencies need to begin that journey of reskilling and that evolution and doing work differently themselves in order to provide solutions that reduce that friction and speed up time to market for their clients.
Yep. No, I agree too. I think speed to market has definitely changed. I mean, that is one area also that has massively been affected by AI and the ability to, whether it's rapid prototyping or all kinds of things, have been able to be significantly sped up in terms of launch. So I think that's an area that's also become, it's basically table stakes. You have to be able to move quickly, and therefore that's also a benefit of agencies, right? Because they have the expertise using across multiple clients, and so they can move if it's set up properly, if the agency is set up properly, if they're the right size, and can have senior people working on some of these things, you can move quickly.
Yeah, and it's taken us a year or a little over a year. We started in 2022,
Mm,
yeah, consoles, maybe
late
three.
22, yeah.
It's, I mean, that's insane. And
Yeah.
along the way, the things that we prioritized early, we no longer even like talk about.
That's true. That's true.
Um, and it's just points to the importance of iteratively testing and getting regular feedback. I think that agencies, like product companies, like some of our clients in manufacturing, sometimes you unknowingly fall into the trap of thinking the best product will win or the best talent will win. And that's generally not true. It's the agency that is most effective in how they go to market and how they make themselves known. And the way that we're going to market with this reduce friction message that we want to make our clients superstars, that the bar to engage with us and for us to launch an effective AI solution within your environment is very low.
Yep.
I think is going to be what differentiates us. But it didn't happen overnight. I mean,
No,
and on this,
no.
it took a gosh darn while to build a platform that allows us to move in this direction and get the right people in the right seats to
Yeah.
have senior level talent and delivering every day on
Yeah.
clients.
Well, and I think also the knowledge of the client, right? Us having the really deep expertise and knowledge in the client in their vertical market. I mean, being able to really understand that. And that's again coming from a human strategic or creative perspective. Without that, you wouldn't be able to move that quickly. So you're not building solutions for the masses. You're building them very specifically for clients.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's the next real unlock that we're moving towards is the automations that go across many different client
Yeah.
operations. So this year, a lot of success in launching agents within client environments that are helping to do a specific thing.
Yep.
Right before this call, when we were looking at our internal AI roadmap and the different horizons and how we are aligning our horizons of innovation against the market, we are on track to meet the market where it's at, which is, automation going across many different disciplines, cutting through silos that exist within businesses. And it's really exciting. And then we have the horizon after that being autonomy. And that is going to be the result of how we execute automations, what we're learning, and continually accelerating that feedback loop and validating and with humans, like the need for expertise and the need to strategically think about what's the next new problem to solve won't go away.
Yeah.
So let's get back on you, Eric. When we think about those horizons and how this business is evolving, what really excites you about 2026? Like, what are you looking forward to, or what trends do you think you'll see emerge?
Yeah, I do think that personalization. So depending on where there's going to be a number of things that are happening. I think personalization is one. I do think with compute power and where we are with AI, personalization is going to become a bigger thing where you can be very personalized and very specific around who you're talking to and how you're talking to them. So I think that is going to be a big theme coming up over the next year or two, because I think we are at that point where compute power is there to do it. I do think creating that glue that combines creativity, media, data analytics together and allowing you to take that and really optimize it, allow the client to really have better ROI, achieve their business goals, because you can put all these things together in one continuous loop, I guess, whatever. It allows you to basically drive value when you have the purview of all these things coming together. And I think as clients allow you to do this, right, as we've seen, clients are shrinking the number of agencies they're using. And I think it's partially because of that reason. They want to have this continuity across what they're doing, allowing you to have an information and data loop through all the things that they're doing. And so I think between personalization, which can actually also be benefited from that entire loop, because you really can't have personalization unless that loop is occurring, and having the ability to automate, as we talked, the continuous automation of repetitive tasks will continue. And there will be, and we see that in our own business. We see that all the time. We're looking at things that, as we have an issue that pops up, the solution might have been just hire another person to handle it versus, oh, we can just create an agent that can just handle this and do this. And it just allows you to automate that task. And so we're seeing that as well. And I think you'll continue to see that for a pretty significant period of time until things have really been significantly changed across multiple industries, and it's way more pervasive. So I think over the next few years, it's going to be very interesting and exciting to see the changes that are happening. I think the folks that are able to drive this end-to-end solution will be the winners in their industries. To be honest, I think that will change the way, and then therefore the challenger brands, competitors that are maybe smaller or earlier stage, if they adopt these things and the entrenched competitors don't.
Mhm.
The entrenched companies don't. You may find that you could actually have companies that take over from the entrenched competitors because they're able to drive value and speed to market, analytics, personalization, optimizing all those things, and able to then and getting their brand out. Brand awareness also key. So that's going to be a big part in the B2B landscape.
Yeah, I agree. And we see entrenched competitors and big brands making those press releases like we're going to reduce staff by 35%, by 25%. And that's supposed to be evidence of automation. But at the same time, we know not all that automation is there. And that is going to be, I think, next year. That's a short-term gain. And inevitably, people will be displaced, not being naive
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
But
of course.
next year, are they going to balance that out with the new roles they need to grow?
Yes.
Like I feel like 2025 was all about efficiency, cost cutting, but you won't beat the challenger brands if you keep doing that. And
No, no.
I always talk about the blockbuster use case. Like when Netflix went to them, they were on fire. They were growing. They were like, why the crap would we acquire a Netflix when we're doing so amazingly well? And they missed the piece where you need to always be thinking about innovation and that next level of talent. And I'm really excited about this. This was, and your idea that was, I don't know, a few months ago, we thought of what's going to happen with that next level of talent. And we're going to be standing up the entry level management training program
Yeah,
that's going to focus on what are the right skills that people entering the workforce need to think
yeah,
strategically, to be a part of solving these next big challenges that come with automation, that come with
yeah,
personalization with personality, with
yeah,
voice, with new types of images, with new types of experiences. And um, yeah, so I'm pretty, I don't think that myself I'm a good teacher, but one of my favorite things in my career is seeing people get excited about the skills they're building and advancing their career. And being a part of a company that's going to have a program that seriously invests in that so that young people can grow, I think is going to be huge.
yeah. No, I think this is not much different than a lot of technology. I think the difference between today and AI advancement is that it's moving very quickly, and that uh, it is going to massively affect many industries that would not necessarily have been affected otherwise. But I think if you look at technology, it's always been that way, right? Like whether it was from in the marketing and advertising world, whether it was from folks that used to do storyboards by pen and pencil and then have to erase things and write, and then desktop happened, desktop publishing happened, and then the internet happened, and then social media happened, then smartphones happened, and then, so there's been massive change in technology, and folks have needed to upskill and learn how to understand the innovation and technology, and they need to do it again. Like this is another massive paradigm shift in technology, and they just need to upskill and make changes to the way they think about things, and use creativity and strategy as the way to build their careers and build their knowledge base.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Eric, we are at time. It's been a joy having you on again for episode
Right.
146. And we'll mark it with some of the things that we've accomplished this past year. We've stood up our AI platform to accelerate innovation development, 5 in-market solutions. I think we're at over 68% adoption.
Yeah.
I am very excited. Maybe we'll do this again next year and just see, what the numbers look like then. But we're in a great spot to make the most of this investment, to continue to grow and deliver value and help our clients do the same and accelerate how they're using AI and showing up for their clients and customers.
Yep, I'm very excited. Future is looking very interesting and exciting, and I think we've been able to really drive a lot into in your efforts, to be frank, but to drive forward in this innovation journey. And I think we are doing a great job. I think as a group we've built a great team, and I think the picture is looking really great over the next few years.
Well, I agree. So if you want to hear more episodes from Leader Generation, especially Eric's first episode when he was on, which is episode 100, you can find it at modop.com. That's modop.com/podcasts. And then also check out episode 145. One of our clients, uh, we interviewed him on GEO, which is a major shift that we're going to see continue go into next year. He is the founder of Originality.ai and talks a lot about AI slop, which has been getting a lot of attention lately. So go onto the website or search for Leader Generation wherever you listen to podcasts. And until next time, Eric, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Tessa. We'll talk to you soon.